Здравствуйте.
Good afternoon. I speak Russian quite well. Я практикуюсь.
Angliski is the language. Do I have a clicker for the slides? Спасибо. So yeah, hi, my name is Hartej, Sawhney, and yes, how is this? Better? Check, check, mic check, sound check. Duh. Okay, yeah, so my name is Hartej, Sawhney, and I'm the co-founder of Hosho.io. Hosho in Japanese means security, and that's been our focus for the last few months that we've been in existence. And our focus is looking at smart contracts as they're increasingly being written on an array of protocols and making sure that they're securely written. And the abundance of the smart contracts being written today, as many of you know, are for ICOs on Ethereum's blockchain. And I mean, this room doesn't need to know what a smart contract is, but what's important to realize is one of the biggest things happening is smart contracts are cutting middlemen out of the picture. And one of the more things that I'm excited about is seeing multi-billion dollar companies write smart contracts that cut out middlemen and to have them securely written on multiple blockchains. And very recently, we started doing some security audits for smart contracts that were on Ethereum's blockchain, but not for an ICO, and they're not even generating a token. And what's interesting there for us is when we do an audit, there's three things that we're mainly looking for. We want to see, number one, when we did the audit, was it written to do what the white paper actually says, or the source of truth? So there's a source of truth where somebody says, this is what this smart contract is supposed to do, and we want to check, does this smart contract actually do it? Number two, we've been building a lot of tooling so that we can go through a smart contract and find vulnerabilities inside that smart contract. And when we find a vulnerability, we build tooling around it so that next time when we're scanning a smart contract, we're finding the exact same vulnerability faster and faster and faster. And so what used to take us 1 week for an audit, sometimes it's taking us 2 days if it's a pre-written contract from, say, tokenmarket.com. So Token Market has released a pre-written smart contract on their website, and it's been actually to our benefit to be able to see smart contracts that are pre-written, rip through them, and find all security vulnerabilities. The third part is efficiency. So we're checking and saying, hey, when this smart contract is written, how much gas are you using? And we're doing a static analysis thoroughly to check in terms of static analysis. We've been finding that as we're going through contracts, a lot of people are clogging the blockchain by inefficiently using gas. Some of the facts on this slide I think are very interesting, because on the top right, if you look at the number of smart contracts deployed, you see the rapid growth in just a matter of 4 to 5 months. So that's on Ethereum's blockchain alone. In June 2017, we had 500,000 smart contracts on Ethereum's blockchain, and just by October, that went up to 2 million. There's something exciting and not so exciting about that. The exciting part is, yes, we are facing rapid growth. But what's not so exciting is that Solidity, the language on Ethereum, updates every week. And we are finding security vulnerabilities in the language. And so when we find a vulnerability in a function, we're going on EatsScan, and we're able to scan tens of thousands of smart contracts that all have the exact same vulnerability. And some of these vulnerabilities are in tokens that are already listed in public exchanges, and that cannot be changed. And we're also finding situations in which there are token founders putting things in smart contracts that exchanges did not know about. For example, there was a smart contract that we looked at where the token founders made it so that if a wallet is compromised, that the founders of the token have the power to remove any token from any wallet at any time without anybody's permission, because they have the Genesis token as the founders of the token. This is something that may not be a bad thing from the perspective of the token founder for protecting a wallet if it's compromised, but an exchange needs to know. And the exchanges that are out there, the exchanges are the ones that are reading our audits line by line, because the exchanges need to know what are the nitty-gritty details in every single part of the smart contract. This slide is the truth. 10% of all of the money in the ICO space has been lost or stolen. And I think that it's something that not a lot of people want to talk about. It's more exciting to talk about how you're going to raise millions of dollars in the ICO, how you've already done 2 rounds of private pre-sale, and you've raised millions of dollars in minutes. I'm excited for you. But the good projects are the ones that are getting multiple audits, because these things need to be looked at from a strong security standpoint. You know, what happened with Parity was it was irresponsible. And the numbers, which by the way, since Ethereum's price has gone up, that is a lot higher now. That's maybe like 330 million from Parity lost. And you know, CoinDash was an example where the website was built in WordPress. So you look at an ICO's website, if you built it in WordPress, it's very vulnerable to a hack. And my co-founder, Yo Kwan, had actually emailed the founders of CoinDash the night before and said, your website looks very vulnerable. And 9 hours later, someone simply changed the hash where you have to send the Ethereum to, and around $10 to $12 million was stolen the next day from CoinDash. I mean, these stories are endless and endless, and we have to, as a community, find a solution. And so here's some of the things that should be done. Of course, I've been speaking a lot about smart contract auditing. The second thing I just touched upon is penetration testing of the website. Those are the top 2 things that every sophisticated investor should be looking for in a project. That if you're going to put money in a project, either you should have a guarantee or a promise from the founders that this project, smart contract, has been audited and the website has gone through a pen test. And if you're doing neither of those and you can't afford it, or you're not able to, at least host a bug bounty. Make it so that you're going to host a bug bounty and you're going to pay a little Bitcoin. Can you hear me better now? Yes. That you're hosting a bug bounty and that you're going to give some Bitcoin back for someone trying to find security vulnerabilities. And the last part is defining security practices. So in Colombia, in Bogota, I just came from a conference called La BitConf. And one of the things we talked about was a spearheading fish attack. So one of the most common ways that companies are hacked is, so there was a specific example that was given. All the company's employees were searched on social media, on Twitter and Facebook. They searched the first name and the last name of all the employees of the company. And for months, they did research about what each employee was writing about on social media. One of the employees had a dog, that the dog would compete in these competitions for, walking and jumping and stuff. And that employee was emailed a very specific email in which the hacker made a website for a dog walking competition near her house in her town and said, attached is a form. Please fill out the Microsoft Word form. She registered the dog for the competition. Once she downloaded that form, malware was installed on her laptop, so the hacker was able to see every keystroke and was able to see the entire screen on everything she was doing. And this led to millions of dollars lost from the company. These are the types of things that I think companies are not spending the time to think about what their in-house security strategies are. They're not allocating budgets for it. And like I said before, the rush is to do an ICO. And instead of rushing to do the ICO, maybe you should consider giving a little bit of equity away from some family and friends so you can figure out why you're doing an ICO. Because it seems like the most common reason is to get money. And then some people are honest about that. Yeah, we're doing an ICO because I don't want to go to Silicon Valley to fundraise. This is a problem. I don't know what else to say. Like, give me a reason why you have a token. This is just a walkthrough of what a smart contract audit looks like. I mentioned some of the things from static analysis, gas analysis, documentation. A big part of the audit is really just the engineer with a strong QA mindset, a security background, and a Solidity expert to figure out that this is what you want the smart contract to do. This is the vision in the white paper. Let us make sure you're doing it. And let us talk with your engineers back and forth to figure out, why did you use this function? It's using too much gas. And why did you put it in here that the founders of the token had the power to remove tokens from anywhere? And don't you think that's a red flag for the exchange? And don't you realize this is going to be a security token and one of the founders is American? These types of things need to be analyzed. I don't have much more. I'm going to wrap it up real quickly, but these are some of the partners that Hosho works with. And one of the things that we're working with our partners is we're releasing an API where you can look up the name of an ICO, and we're going to bring transparency to the community so that you can look up the name of an ICO and you can get a direct link to the audit report from any of the auditing reporting shops. So if any of the listing partners that are not on here want to come talk to me, come talk to me. But we are working with Token Market, CoinList, Walksman.pr. We're working with a lot, ICO Bench. We're working with a lot of major companies to basically be the VeriSign for crypto. Let you look up and bring some transparency to who actually got an audit, so we can realize that more than 50% of the tokens that are listed today actually have never gotten an audit. And I will say that the good projects that are getting audits are getting 2, if not 3 audits. And often, we are the 3rd auditor, and we're still finding vulnerabilities. And so even us, when we do the audit, we suggest people to go get more. This is Ethereum, as Vitalik Buterin says himself, is still a playground. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, I'm very easy to find. I have a turban.
Hey. Спасибо, Hartej.
Спасибо.
There are some questions.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to answer questions.
Да, время для вопросов Хартежу, пожалуйста.
High time for questions to Hartej. Please raise your hands and ask your question. No questions, then I will ask a question. Hartej.
Automatically made smart contracts. There is a way of construction or like building a constructor to build smart contracts. What do you think about that direction?
Who asked the question? Good one. Yeah, there's a bunch of people working on automating the process of writing smart contracts. I'm excited to see it happen. Right now, what's happening is people are outsourcing the writing of smart contracts to one person, and they're outsourcing the writing of the white paper to somebody else, and auditing to me. But you have 7 co-founders from some top universities, and not one of them wrote the white paper or the smart contract. And the quality of the smart contracts that we are seeing written by professional shops are not very high right now. So I can only hope that if someone is going to automate the process, that maybe the quality will go up. So we'll see. And if they do start automating the writing of smart contracts, I hope they don't have a token.
The next question. We have seen a lot of forks for Bitcoin, right? I heard there are forks coming for Ethereum as well as Bitcoin. Did you hear something about it?
If more parodies happen, when parodies hack happened, our fear was there's going to be a fork in Bitcoin. Fork in Ethereum. Forks can be good. We had this discussion in LabBitConf as well. But yes, I do think some forks will come, but they will come as a result of people not valuing security. And so, again, I bring it right back to security. If people give security a high priority, then no, we will avoid forks on Ethereum.
Okay, and one more question for me.
Are these all from you?
Yeah, it's all from.
All right. Anybody else?
I don't see the hands, though. That's why
Anybody
I'm
else
asking.
have questions?
We have seen the Ethereum price rise up to $500 recently, and there are more predictions of the price going up to 1,000 or maybe 1,500. And with the price going up, there is a huge increase in gas price and gas limit.
Yes.
It's gonna be more expensive for the smart contract to operate. Is there any solution or a way to avoid it?
Short answer is no. And the longer answer is maybe too long to explain right now, but all I could really say is there's much to be figured out on the Ethereum blockchain.
That's for sure.
And on that same note, we are excited and looking forward to the RSK project and their release, which is the Ethereum EVM, but on the Bitcoin blockchain for smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain for the first time. We are excited at some point for IBM Hyperledger, and we are already receiving requests to do security work for projects on NEO.
Great.
Thank you very much for your performance, I can say, let's say like that. And I want to ask you about...
You're welcome.
Thank you. So, and I would ask you about, let's say we do have our own ICO now, and I'm in search for some kind of audit of our smart contracts, and I want to ask you also, is it okay for you to become for some kind of advisor who can approve for ISOs that their own smart contracts are?
Are you asking me to be an advisor for your company right now?
Oh, yeah.
On stage?
Honestly,
The answer publicly is
outwards.
no. Absolutely not. Niet.
Okay.
You know why? Because we just met. I don't even know your name yet. I am only going to be an advisor for companies that I add value to and that I know you. How am I going to know that you're not Scam Coin 2.0? You understand?
Yeah, nice answer.
I just met you.
Yeah, I just want to ask this question.
I do not accept advisory
you.
roles.
Okay.
And if you need help getting an audit, I have a company for this. It's called Hosho, HOSHO.io.
Okay.
If you need help getting a smart contract written, I can forward you to some people. If you need help finding an advisor, I'm not your guy.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's...